So the words that you're going to remember as you are on the doorsteps of these persuadable members of Congress or persuadable voters in the districts of these members of Congress, and you're trying to organize events that are going to, create an ecosystem around them where they understand they have to do a given thing, whether it's vote for a policy or it's vote for a candidate, is inquire, is the I. And sorry, I had to have 15 slides, so I cut this down from 56. So there's not, so I couldn't actually write IRS. I should have. Inquire is I. You want to get to know the person across from you. A really good salesperson who's trying to sell whatever, a vacuum, a candidate, doesn't say like, you really need this vacuum because it's the strongest vacuum. They say like, what don't you like about your vacuum today, right? Or car. That sounds way more cynical than I meant it to. R, relate. Beautiful. The people who naturally did the good persuadable sessions, whether it was like someone telling their personal story or it was, hey, come to this bar because your friend might like it, they actually shared a little bit of themselves and said like, yeah, you identified this thing. I listened to you. I inquired. I got to know actually where you stand as a real human being. And here is why I relate. My values are the same values as your values. And sometimes it takes a ton of strength internally. It was really hard for me back when I was like trying to get through my own biases and my own anger about everything that happened to my family and my cousin and in the Middle Eastern conflicts and like all these different persuadable conversations I've even had to have personally. I had to really steel myself and say, I really want to understand the person across from me. I'm going to clear my ego for a second, have an observing ego, really try to inquire enough to understand you, and then I'm going to take the effort to really relate to you as a human. I understand what it means to feel like you want a place that is your home, whatever it is. And then the last S is share. So once you relate, what do you share with this person? This gets back to Tim McCarthy's point, right, about shared values and how we identify them and what our own values are. This not only, fun fact, is the scientific way to persuade elected officials, persuadable voters, and people to, like, quote unquote, be on your side. It is the big D democratic way that we weave together real governable, strong democracies where there's consensus on actually sticky issues. Like the school voucher issue is a fantastic example of that. There is a lot of tension on the progressive side, on the conservative side, in between, on whether charter schools or not make sense for different people in different scenarios. And one of my outside critiques of that is that we're not doing a whole lot of listening across the aisles in smart, shoulder-down ways. So IRS, you will never forget it, inquire, relate, share. Persuasion is at the key. If you take anything away from this session, it's at the heart of what we need to do now to engage these persuadable voters who are the middle third of our democracy that went unengaged in the 2016 election and must be like authentically engaged in the 2018 and 2020 election.